Rivalry renewed. Go New York. Go New York versus everybody. Say what you need to get ready for this series, but we're going to get you guys ready for the fourth time. The Knicks and Pacers square up in the Eastern Conference Finals with my guy Jonathan Macri of Knicks Film School. J Mac, what's going on? My man got the blazer on for the ECF. The vibes around the city are high right now, my man. You ready to get into this?
Yeah, no, I think so. It's kind of crazy. I still honestly don't believe that they beat Boston. I mean, they earned it. Obviously, they won it in 6 games, but I know, like a lot of Knicks fans, an Eastern Conference Finals appearance is something of a surprise. But that said, I'm not sure they're quite done yet.
Yeah, so much of a surprise. You had people climbing Nike billboards after making it out of the second round. So,
Yeah.
you know how the vibes are around the city. But let's break this thing down for us, man. You're the man in Knicks Film School. We know that the Knicks have a better and healthier roster than they did in last year's semifinals against the Pacers, where they blew that 2-0 lead. No need to talk about that, but is it safe to say it's NBA Finals or bust for this Knicks team, and break this series down for us?
They have unquestionably, Brandon, a golden opportunity in front of them. For years in the Eastern Conference, it was LeBron James standing in the way of whatever team was trying to, get to that promised land. We've seen other great players. I mean, if you want to go back to the 90s, Michael Jordan certainly had his moments against the Knicks. The Knicks have more talent than this Pacers team. And I wonder if even if you gave them truth serum, maybe the Pacers would admit that. But talent alone is not going to get it done. And I think, look, is it NBA Finals or bust? I can't go that far only because, like, I know no one wants to hear this now, but this was supposed to be the year before the year for the Knicks. They're only 7 guys deep. They haven't had that extra transaction cycle to get an extra guy. That said, I think they will win. I think it is important that they win. Do I think they need to win? We could go back and forth. It's going to have a lot to do with how they're able to slow down this Pacers offense because let me tell you, they are unrelenting in their pace that they play with. No pun intended.
Well, let's get into these X's and O's, man, because you say that the Knicks have the better roster, and I guess the Pacers could have the better depth. They're a little bit deeper in terms of that bench. But when we talk X's and O's when it comes to this series, you know it. The Pacers are a top 3 team in the league when it comes to playing at a fast pace. We're going to see a lot of passes, a lot of assists. They're really good at moving the ball around. So we saw Tom Thibodeau make adjustments against the Celtics when it came to guarding that three-point line, three-point defense. How do you think Tibbs and that coaching staff is going to try and slow these games down?
Yeah, I mean, in theory, the switching that worked against the Celtics should work to some extent against Indiana. Here's the thing. I think we watch these games. I know I'm guilty of it sometimes, thinking like, all right, well, switching, that's easy enough, right? Just switch the assignment and you're fine. A team like the Pacers, even more so than a team like the Celtics, is designed and they practice this and they hone it to make it so that you think you are switching and then before you know it, someone will slip free. They are really, really good when it comes to their screening actions, at disguising stuff, at deceiving, defenders, and especially guys who are not necessarily good defenders. Like you might say, karl-Anthony Towns is someone that I'm sure they'll circle on their whiteboard in this series. So I think the Knicks are going to mix in some traditional coverage, mostly drop. That said, guess who's the best shooting team by far in the NBA playoffs? It's the Pacers. So if you allow, forget Tyrese Halliburton, the likes of Andrew Nemhart and Aaron Nesmith and Pascal Siakam to walk into open mid-rangers, I don't think that's a recipe for success either. I think at the end of the day, this is a contrast in styles. And the one thing that I am looking at is the offensive rebounding edge potentially for the Knicks. Because on one hand, you could say, all right, the Pacers aren't a great team on the boards. The Knicks should be able to grab offensive rebounds, second chance points. Best way to keep the Pacers from going out and running is by making baskets. On the flip side of that, the Pacers are going to try to get out and run at every opportunity. So if you are staying home to crush the offensive glass, is that going to make you even more susceptible to the Pacers' running game? I think that is the key battleground area in this series, and whichever team is more able to make this series, come down to their style of play, I think is probably going to be the team that wins it.
if you're able to have your style of play, you got a chance to win this series. We talked about the X's and O's. We broke down what the rosters kind of look like, how deep it go. But we all know it's going to come down to Tyrese Halliburton, to Jalen Brunson. Captain Clutch has already showed up, Cade Cunningham and Jason Tatum. Now, these two are the main event. They didn't have a chance to square up in the wrestling ring at the Garden in the offseason, but they're going to do it on the court. Which one of these guys has the most pressure to not only put a team, but a series on their back?
I think it has to be Brunson. And I think it has to be Brunson for a few reasons. I mean, the Pacers have other options in terms of look, Tyrese Halliburton, in terms of, whatever you take from the term like pure point guard, he's one of the 3 or 4 best passers in the game of basketball. They need that passing. It is the most central component of their offense. That said, they have won a ton of games without Halliburton against quality competition over the last few years, and that's because they have other guys who can run this offense. I mentioned Andrew Nembhard before. T.J. McConnell is a really good point guard coming off the bench, although not quite as dynamic as Halliburton. And the biggest thing is Tyrese Halliburton does not need to score for this Pacer team to win. They got a ton of guys who could pour in 20 or even 30 points on any given night. For the Knicks to win this series, I have to think that Jalen Brunson will have to go off from a scoring standpoint. He is their best singular matchup advantage, and while it is going to take a team effort, the likes of which we saw in games 4 and 6 against the Boston Celtics in particular, I just don't see how the Knicks have a chance without Brunson going off. Thankfully, I don't think the Pacers are ever going to find a great answer for Jalen Brunson. They have ways they could slow him down, but I don't think they have any ability to stop him. So I would look for him to come out on top, and I would look for the Knicks to come out on top as well.
All right, real quick, because I got to get out of here. I just need yes or no. I don't need a why, but do you feel like Knicks fans need to chill out with these celebrations and overreactions?
Absolutely not. 2 words.
Oh, my gosh. Act like you've been there before.
Why? We haven't been here in 25 years. Why we got to act like it?
Oh, man. Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. But the city's on fire, man. I can't wait to catch back up with you after some of these games and to preview some of the other ones. Thanks for hopping on with us, J-Mac.
Thanks, man.